stop it. That sign says keep off the grass. Careless of me, Batman.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 4 greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe.
This is a podcast where we watch really shitty movies and then we talk about them, in case you're just joining us. This is episode
11?
12. No, 12.
11
12.
was Wing Commander.
This is episode 12
of the
Unwanted Epilogue.
You can laugh, Sam.
And we have
Wing
some special
Commander
guests.
We have special guests today.
For the first time. We have 2. Introduce yourselves.
I'm David.
I'm Sam, and I'm an alcoholic.
Oh, God, after this
We're
movie...
not ready for
We're all
that.
alcoholics now.
We might all be, yeah. So we saw Justice League at my insistence.
IMAX.
We spent $20 on this shit can.
$20 a
$20
ticket.
each. Well, technically, you paid for my ticket, though.
You know, I've been to cheaper basketball games.
They got $100 off us.
I want my money back.
You know that question, like, would you rather find $5 or go to a WNBA game? I'd rather go to a WNBA game than go to that movie again.
Yeah.
I would
I
gladly
will say
see the
this.
WNBA.
I'd
They
take
have
$5
solid
over
fundamentals.
Right up front, I would never watch this again, I don't think. I don't have any desire to see it again.
It was worse than Batman v Superman.
I don't think so, but it was
Less good?
less good somehow.
But better than Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Better than
I mean, that's not
Suicide
hard.
Squad.
Better than Suicide Squad.
But I
Okay,
don't
on
know
a scale
what it's
of,
about.
like, horrible and Gary Busey, where does it fall on that scale?
It was 12 Gary Busey.
Oh, no.
12 Gary Buseys.
So, this is a movie that they apparently spent like $300 million on.
No way.
I think the budget was like $280 or so. I don't know. I
You
didn't do any
didn't do your
research and
homework?
I don't care.
There's some massive reshoots. There was a change in directors.
Yeah, Sam brings up a very good point that Joss Whedon, Jack Snyder, Zack Snyder actually left the production who knows how much of the % way through. We don't know how.
That was a while back.
It was a while back. And there were a lot of reshoots. Joss Whedon took over them, which is weird. And the movie is weird as a result of that. It has like a very strange tone that doesn't quite work.
It's two tones mixing. It's one
Right.
person trying to like put those Marvel moments of like small jokes and serious periods and just shoving them into Zack Snyder's dark little gritty fucking
And slow-mo.
teenage angst film.
There was
Yeah.
a lot of slow-mo.
There's a lot of slow-mo and a lot
How do you show
of...
Flash without slow-mo though?
A lot of why we started doing this podcast in the first place, the in and out 3D effects from the screen. We didn't see it in 3D, but I noticed a whole hell of a lot of shit flying into the screen and shit
Yeah.
flying out of the screen.
If my
That's a
chair
good
doesn't
point.
move,
Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
If my chair's not violently rocking back,
Yeah.
and the cameraman's not just like violently shaking the fucking camera every direction.
The budget was $300 million, and it came out like 3 weeks ago in
2 weeks.
China.
Oh, 3 weeks ago, okay.
Yeah,
They're even showing the films first over there because they
Right.
know those.
They already
Yeah.
know that we're gonna hate it.
but it hasn't made its money back yet.
No.
Because they spent.
Well, and think about how much they spent on advertising.
They did spend
Yeah.
$300
If they blew $300 million making this movie, they blew almost twice that much on
Advertising.
ads.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yikes.
So it has to make $800 million for them to consider it.
But even
A success.
A success, yeah.
That's a bummer.
Suicide Squad made that much money. So did Batman
Why
v
did we
Superman.
go see that?
Suicide, you mean...
It was not.
Do you mean Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad? Academy Award winner?
That's a true
I
statement.
think you do mean
DC
Academy
It did
Award-winning
not
Suicide
win
Squad.
an award. For what?
Costumes?
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
They're pretty good costumes. I'm
I
not gonna
think
lie.
Harley's ass and that should have been its own costume.
I cannot.
It was. Did you go to Halloween
I wish I had
2017?
my
I
phone
did.
closed so I could look it up, and I don't.
It did, I'm not lying.
This is outrageous.
Yeah.
But the thing that I get the most angry about is because it's like they cast the right people, they do the right marketing, they show the people that like everybody wants to see these people play these characters.
Right.
But then they just butcher it. Like they just like give them their own movies. Do what Marvel did. Like sacrifice a Thor movie in there just to like build the character development. Like
Right, who was, like, so Black Terminator, what's his name?
I don't even know.
Cyborg.
Okay,
Cyborg.
before we
What, did
before
he
we
have
get
a
into this
movie?
further,
Is he from
no,
anything?
He was in Batman v Superman. They showed a YouTube video of him
Yeah.
getting infected by an alien cube and turned into a robot man.
I did not see that movie.
The cubes were, you might say, the central point of this movie.
You might say that. Okay, before we go any further,
You might.
I want to hear Ford and Jillian describe what this movie was about in like a paragraph. Tell us the plot of Justice League.
So, an ancient alien comes from nowhere, and he needs the Allspark to terraform the planet. Or there's 3 Allsparks, but they combine into 1 Allspark.
What?
And the Amazon women have one, the Atlantis people have one.
They do.
And they gave the humans one, and instead of hiding or doing anything with it, they just buried it somewhere. So,
And they said no one will find it.
yeah, they were like, this is fine. So this will
They
work.
found it in World War One,
Right.
and then they just put it on a shelf.
Holy fuck.
Yeah,
Is
they
that what
blew-
happened?
They blew it up, and I think they cover this slightly in Wonder Woman, where like they're shelling the fields in France, and it turns up this cube, right? Is that
That's
not?
a thing?
Did that happen in Wonder Woman?
Did it? I don't remember.
That might have been a post-credits scene.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know what?
All of this is made
It
up.
should have.
Does anyone actually stay?
I don't
for the
believe any of
post-credits
it.
in
But so
DC?
the
Well, I
alien
wanted to,
is
and y'all
from
didn't.
nowhere, right? He just comes in and he's like, "Surprise! I'm the big bad guy, and I want to eat everything," or something.
He did use those exact words.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? What else happened?
That's pretty much it. They go. There's 3 cubes that he wants, and they try to make him not get
Was
the
there
cubes.
someone who was dead in the movie?
Right? They.
Wait, I remember
That's
that.
walking out. David was like, "So the movie was just wake up Superman and have him solve your problems?" Like,
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Superman is too powerful of a character. So, in order to tell an interesting story about him, he either has to not be in it, or he has to die, or be, like, stripped of his powers.
He's outrageous.
He's too strong. So that's why he only showed up in the last 10 minutes of the
Realistically,
movie.
if you're going to show this story, you know, it's having a god in the story, like a guy who can do anything.
Well, he's in Zack Snyder's view, he's Jesus. He came back.
well, and
he
they have
is
to
Jesus.
make the Flash just like a total noob.
Oh my
so that he's not
God.
good at anything either. Like,
Oh, God.
This is
if the
too
Flash
much.
was like a veteran fighter and whatnot, he would be the most powerful one. Like,
Yeah.
there wouldn't be any
Clearly.
point to having
That's
anyone
why
else.
he's my favorite superhero.
Has
And
anyone
TV
seen
show
The
did
Flash?
a good job of it first season, and like
Don't hate on it.
No, I love the show.
We love it.
I love the show.
We love it.
But I'm saying, you know, after a while, he's just too good.
Right.
Like, he's
If
just
Barry Allen has taught us anything, it's that going back in time
Is
does
a
not
problem.
solve all your
It's
problems. In
problematic.
fact,
Does it?
it may create more of them.
In fact, you if you fuck with time, you get a cameo in Batman versus Superman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you show up at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Batman versus
He,
Superman. Okay, so
he
Is
did.
that
He
what
said
happens?
that. Am I the wrong time?
Jill
Fuck!
hasn't-
I am the wrong time.
Okay.
Jill didn't watch Batman v
So,
Superman.
I don't know anything
And
about
you didn't
these
see Wonder
movies.
Woman.
Okay, so
I have not also seen
Batman
Wonder
is
Woman.
like
guys haven't seen-
some shit happened and I need help. So he's like traveling around getting people to help him. And fucking Wonder Woman's like, alright, I'll help you. And then they find the Flash, who's not okay. Ezra Miller, you were a school shooter. Like
In a movie.
everyone else can forgive this. I will never forgive you being a school shooter. So that's all
So
I thought.
Wonder
the whole
Woman
time.
is good at 2 things: stopping bank robberies and fucking black
Oh,
chicks.
I
That's
thought you were
her.
gonna say tits and
She is gorgeous. Okay,
She
she's
shows
got
off
like
her booty a lot
proper
in this
jiggly
movie.
bits. She's fantastic. Anyway,
she's wearing like a ridiculous. It's supposed to be her in her job, and she's like cleaning a statue.
oh god
She's
damn.
wearing
it.
spandex.
And she's wearing like just the most
This
ridiculously
is what you
sexy
wear. Where are your
like,
overalls with
work
paint
clothes.
on them?
Yeah.
yeah.
Can we
least
talk
like
about
a
how
lab
everyone has just been glammed by her? Like, she's a terrible actress.
She is.
She really is.
But the
not
movie was good. Like,
great.
if you see Wonder Woman, like at least she has acting chops. In
I'll
that
say
one
this.
comparatively. Like,
I don't think
She's
so though.
No, I don't think she has acting
They
chops.
gave her moments to actually act in that one. This one, it's like let's be quippy with like every
Quick.
line.
Well, everybody. There was
Shit
no
is
time.
going down.
Yeah, dude, that was one thing. The change of scenery, just over and over. It's like span shot. Like let's look at this screenshot.
Yeah.
It's
and
kind of
then,
like, I can't tell you exactly why I think she's a bad actress or whatever, a bad actor. I don't think that's like really quantifiable, but it's when
It's
you're
like
watching
she's a
her.
wrestler.
The
Or
thing
a
is
s-
when you're watching her and her, like, it takes you out of character so much. Like, I'm not watching Wonder Woman. I'm watching this actress like fumble through lines to be Wonder Woman. Like, I don't
She's
know.
like an
I was
athlete,
watching her ass.
a professional athlete or a wrestler.
You're watching
She's not an
her.
actress. She's really great at physical acting. She's great at flying around and getting punched and all that shit. But like when there's a close up of her face and she has to act,
say
it's like The
words.
Rock.
Yeah.
She does like the eyebrow
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
where she's like,
She is
She's
beautiful.
like trying to be emotive, and it just looks like way like too expressive.
yeah, and her
almost,
eyes are like blown the fuck out
Okay,
when she's
but
looking at
it's
someone.
not like she's in a movie where everyone else is just killing it on the
Okay.
acting side of
No, no.
things.
You're not wrong.
To her credit,
Yeah.
There were times during this movie where I wish they had gone further in that direction because it felt like a cartoon, like a Saturday morning cartoon, but they didn't go with it enough. It was too serious and dour half the time. Like, the times where it really felt like they were swinging for the fences, like when David put his hands in his fucking eyes, he just couldn't take it anymore. It was when Batman's butler was like, "That's not a plan, Bruce. That's a team."
Yeah.
And Baker was
Shit
just like
that. Yeah.
Teamwork.
See, and that's jarring.
That actually gave me
that's
cancer.
Saturday morning
I had
cartoon
cancer
shit.
now.
If they had done that the whole time, that would have been fine.
Yeah.
But then they have like Grandma Kent losing her house because she can't pay the bills.
Because the fucking bank foreclosed on Superman's mom's house. Really?
Because her son died.
And at the
You know
He
what?
fucking
Superman's dead,
sucks.
so fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm taking your house now.
Oh my god, like...
Is there not like a fund to save Superman's mom?
No.
And that's what we were talking about.
There would be a
on the way out,
Kickstarter
too,
for that
is, like,
now.
This movie was like basically as bad as I thought it would be, but it just makes me realize like these superhero movies just fucking blow.
No,
like they're so
Marvel
inconsistent.
does it right.
Marvel
Sometimes.
does
They
it
blow, too.
right.
No, I say sometimes.
Not at this
Like,
level.
you had to hear the
It
rap
is
into that.
not like this.
People don't seem to give a shit that there are aliens. Like nothing has changed on Earth. Like
Well,
they-
Superman's an alien.
But okay, so when they come down and they're like, "Hey, there are these fucking crazy like bug things, bug vampires that people were reporting seeing," they're like, "Nah, that's probably bullshit."
So this is
Yeah.
the
Dude,
this
first
happens
thing
every
Batman
week. Like,
kills
there
is a
were-
Firefly man.
Yeah, so the
And-
Firefly people had kidnapped at this point like 12 or 13 separate people, they had said.
Right.
Do they have a
And
real
then
name?
there was one little girl that drew a picture of it, and the police chief was like, "Oh, she was just saying things."
That, no,
Yeah,
like,
it's
that
the
looks like
Mothman
Batman.
prophecies.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm gonna talk to
Mothman.
Batman. Be sure this isn't him.
Yeah.
Whatever.
As he goes to turn on the light in the sky for a man that dresses up as a bat to go fight crime.
Well,
Yeah,
it's like, okay, so even just discounting all of that and saying this is real, superheroes exist in humanity, like alien invasions have happened, no one seems to give a shit on like a day-to-day basis. There's not like, like society would look drastically different, like even like a year
Hey,
later.
some
like, there
people
would
are
be-
just trying to make it paycheck to paycheck. Man.
Yeah, dude, Superman's just trying to wear
Life is
glasses
hard.
and work at a newspaper. Oh wait, that was in the last movie.
But Superman
He's
is
dead
dead.
now.
Everyone's
That's how
like,
it
what's a
starts.
newspaper?
And that's why Batman is gathering up super friends.
In Batman v Superman, Superman's main plot line is that he's being forced to write about football, but he really wants to write about Batman in the story. That's the story of that
That's
movie.
it. That's it.
And then he punches him a
That's
lot.
it.
But Batman
Why didn't they bring
punches
it
him
into-
harder, but not as hard.
Why didn't they bring it into modern and make him a fucking blogger or something? Like, why does he still write for a newspaper?
Hey,
He's
man,
goddamn Clark
trying.
Okay,
Kent.
in Metropolis, it's a big enough city that there would still be a newspaper, fine, whatever. But
Well, I'm just saying, update your fucking shit.
the whole
like-
idea that some dude could just put on glasses and hide doesn't.
You know what? You
Track
don't look
in
like
this
that
guy.
guy who doesn't wear a mask.
I mean, that's so dumb and obvious that I feel like it's not even worth talking about. As
No,
far
I
as,
mean
like,
you're right,
superhero
but
movies
like
go.
it doesn't fit in this tone.
Yeah.
Him taking his shirt off at the end and showing the Superman S, and then playing just a tiny little snippet of the fucking Superman theme. It's so manipulative because
Yeah.
it's not what the movie was.
No.
It was
No, that's like them trying to set up 6 more movies.
right.
Or them just like doing the fan thing of like, here's
Well, that's
all
what
the,
Superman should have
It's like
been.
here's all the
We
character
just
wipes
shat
at
on your
the end.
childhood.
Like,
Here's something you looked at for.
it's like they have to make every one of these movies a giant fucking epic thing rather than just make like a sweet like superhero story. Like some of those animated Batman movies are like great because they're not trying to be you're the savior of humanity.
Mask
like,
of the Phantasm is
Yeah.
a great Batman movie.
because he
animated
just
movie.
kicks a bad guy's ass.
It's just
And
one
then
bad
it's
guy.
Like that's it.
And it turns out to be a
I don't know
lady.
anything about this.
Spoilers. Turns out to be an ex-lover
For real.
of Batman.
Really?
But like every superhero
that's a
movie
cool
doesn't need to
story.
be philosophical commentary on like if
Gods
humanity's
among man.
if humanity's ready to propel themselves or not. Like Jesus fucking Christ, like we know what superheroes are. Just give us that, you know.
Well, and I think the problem was this movie tried to do that.
They all
but it
do.
also
Every
tried.
one of them does. Even the Transformers.
there
Pacific
were some-
Rim didn't get built.
I
because
did
it
like
had
that
a plotline.
Pacific
Right.
Rim
Right.
tra-
See, Pacific
trailer.
Rim is great though.
Yeah,
Like,
But it
because
knows what
I
it is.
paid for giant robots to fight giant monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with superheroes, I pay for a little bit more story.
Yeah.
Than what I got.
There was too much Lois Lane and Clark Kent's fucking mom talking in this movie.
Yeah.
it was
And
kind
not
of
enough.
like
That's
Also,
probably the
the
most
whole
boring
beginning
part.
with
Yeah.
the guy from Mindhunters, like that's just like random ass like.
Dude, that was
scene.
hilarious. Batman's opening scene, that was... Oh, and the little bit with Superman on a cell phone.
Yeah, that was remarkably bad.
Hey,
Holy
Superman,
shit.
we're doing a podcast because we're like 8. Tell us some shit, Superman.
Yeah.
And like the cutout before he answers what's the best thing about humanity, I was like, all right.
Oh, he
Well,
looks at the camera so creepily.
Yeah, he's
too.
like,
He's like, it's when I get to fuck low. It's like,
oh my god.
It's the P-U-S-S-Y.
okay, so can we talk about his CGI upper lip?
What was
Did you guys
that?
notice?
I did notice that.
Okay, so he filmed Mission Impossible 6 or 7 or whatever fucking number of those they're on now.
10.
During the reshoots of this movie.
oh yeah, and he had
So
to keep
he
his mustache.
had to
'cause
keep
it was
his
in the
mustache, so they
contract.
CGI'd his fucking mustache out
can't
of
believe
this
that.
movie.
How much money did they
Paramount
spend?
said "fuck you" and was like, "No, we're not going to make him shave it."
So that means that many multiple people were employed
Yes.
to
That's the best
CGI.
Digital mustache removal.
Yeah, to CGI
They
a
were like,
mustache.
listen
Someone's
up,
name in
guys.
the credits.
We got some
is
work
there
today.
just
For
that.
probably 7 to 8 months, a group of people looked at Henry Cavill's upper
You missed
lip
a hair.
and
you
made
missed
sure
one.
And it didn't look good.
No.
I don't know if you noticed.
Alright,
but-
for it.
All right, for real, this
didn't look
movie
good.
sucked, but it sucked nowhere near as much as that experience probably was.
Yeah.
That's
Having to
someone's
watch it
job.
over
To
and
those
over again.
poor unfortunate souls, we're sorry.
We're sorry.
We're sorry you had to do
We
this.
supported your work.
Sitting in their room,
Hey,
like,
we
surrounded
paid.
by pictures of
Should have
Henry
kept the
Cavill's like,
stash,
bare lip.
fools.
Dude, do you think when they close their eyes at night laying in bed and they're like drifting off sick, they're like, ah! You jolted awake.
You know, some people dream of spiders,
Roadhead!
some people snakes.
Probably why I was sitting.
Roadhead!
These guys, Henry Cavill's
I hope that's the
mustache.
reason they made him deadpan the entire film, and not just because
Okay.
he's a
No, okay.
awful actor.
The only thing where this movie almost won me over was Flash and the tiny little bits of Superman where he actually felt like Superman for like it was like 4 seconds.
Flash was
total.
good in the movie. I liked everything about him. I liked the actor. They wrote
He's
his
a
script
school
fine.
shooter.
Jesus Christ,
I
Jill.
cannot let this
There's
go.
a movie-
Watch this movie.
What's wrong with
We need to talk about Kevin.
What's he
There's
doing, Gilbert
something
Grape?
fucked
Gilbert
up
Grape?
about Kevin. Kevin has
Oh
problems.
wait,
Oh,
Kevin
he
is
shoots a
in
bunch of
that
people with a
movie?
bow?
John
Yeah.
C. Riley is the dad.
Yeah.
And
John Cena's in it.
John's-
Swinton
Wait, really?
No.
Oh.
is the wife, and Kevin is fucking crazy.
So, why was Barry Allen autistic? Is what I really wanted to know.
He's not on the show.
Yeah.
He's
That's like,
very
he's
good
supposed to be,
at
like,
reading
super
social
smart,
shit.
and,
On the
like,
TV
he's like,
show-
I don't know east from west.
Yeah.
Like, what is that shit?
He doesn't know general
Hey,
directions.
let me just run real far in one direction. Oh, no, I was supposed to go the other way to save the people.
I
My
told
bad.
you when you recruited me to this superhero team that I was dyslexic, autistic.
Well, he says it.
Type-
He's like, here's what I do.
Flash diabetes?
I run fast. I push people.
Yeah.
I don't really know
I
what
thought
to
that's
do
the- I thought that was one of the
outside
greater
of
lines
this.
in the movie. Is like,
I have low blood sugar.
that's what I do. Yeah, it's like I run fast. I
And he
push people
eats a
to
lot
guys.
of food
All right,
because
save
he
one
burns
person.
a lot of calories.
So he
I
eats
like
a lot
that-
of food, but he doesn't know what brunch is. At one point in the movie, he said, "I don't understand
That's
the
a
concept of
glaring.
brunch."
That's a glaring
That's a
inconsistency.
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So for a hungry ass person to not know
He's
what
eating
brunch is,
probably every day.
He just doesn't know what it
Breakfast,
is.
brunch, lunch.
yeah, he,
Motherfucker eats second brunch. He eats 2 brunches.
Well, if he is truly autistic, then he's one of those people that's just like, I don't understand the definition of the word you're trying to define. You're like, dude, don't really fucking stressing out about brunch. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
Okay, so again, why?
Why? Yeah.
I
Why
love
make him
Flash.
autistic?
Because you had to have one dumbass in the group who's, you know,
He was the
he's
audience.
comic relief.
He was the
He was the
audience.
audience surrogate.
What's happening?
And he was always
Oh.
making like crazy eyes whenever Superman or someone else did something awesome.
That was one of my favorite
When-
bits was
when
when
he's like-
Cyborg walked in and he just eyeballed him like, what the fuck? That was
You mean Black
Or
Terminator?
when he starts noticing Superman like move like at super speeds, and he's like,
that was great.
yeah, he was like, this is how like nobody's as fast as I
Yeah,
am.
Superman turns his eye really quickly and sees Barry, and then Barry realizes that he's actually as fast as him.
That was actually a good shot in the movie because you see him coming around and you're like, is he gonna look? Is he gonna look? And then his eyes just like move and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, you're like,
There's
oh
such-
damn.
There's such redeeming nuggets in this of like that person got that character right.
Right.
In that exact moment.
Some people somewhere were like, this scene understands all of these characters.
Do you know what the first half of this movie was like? Was watching
Torture?
a montage, but without the cuts. Like it's like watching the full montage.
Yeah.
Like where normally they would
Montage,
montage
no
that
cuts.
shit
Yeah.
and put the team together, and no, we saw every bit of it. Like,
Suicide Squad was the opposite.
right, they
Where-
montage that shit.
They montaged it so hard, you were like, where was the rest of it? Like, we didn't see anything.
They could have done it somewhere in between.
Right.
What do
This
you
one
mean?
we
We're some
saw-
kind of Suicide Squad Squad.
Yeah, literally,
Thanks,
it was
Will
even
Smith.
worse than when Alfred said they were a team in this movie, because in that one,
But-
Will Smith is like, "What are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad?"
I was thinking like the Family Guy. It's like, oh, he said it.
Yeah.
You said the movie. Did they ever say the movie in this one?
No, but they do say justice.
Yeah.
They never said,
never said
we need to
league.
form some kind of league
For justice.
for justice.
Okay, wait a minute.
But they
though.
Superman said, "I believe in justice."
They
I-
did tease the Hall of Justice.
They
They
did.
did,
Yes.
I liked that
Yeah,
though.
I did too.
Okay, I only came to this movie for Aquaman. That is the only
Yeah, we haven't
reason
heard from
I
Jill in
showed
a
up.
while.
We need to
I
hear what
only
Joel.
showed up to watch sexy former Dothraki take his shirt off and tell fish what to do.
And boy, did he
And
do it.
there was not nearly enough of that.
I wanted to see him talk to a fish.
I was misled.
There
He
were-
took his shirt off, okay, and early on, and it was dope, yes. However, I came only for this man taking his shirt off.
I think you're objectifying men.
And I did. I objectified
No, that's
him
okay,
hardcore.
because that's what he was there
He
for.
started
That's why
it.
he was hired.
He started it.
Ezra Miller was not the man candy.
No, he was not. Because he's a
Ben
school
Affleck,
shooter.
Henry
Okay,
Cavill, and
but
Dothraki
Henry
Man.
Cavill,
Jason
yes. If you haven't
Dude,
watched
he's-
The Tutors, watch The Tutors.
Also,
he wears very
Stargate.
loose pants, and you can see the outline of all his junk.
Oh, no.
It's much better than Superman.
Outside, Jill was saying, "I know him from the Tutors," and I was like, "Superman?" And she's like, "No, the Tutors." And I was like, "You know Superman from the Tutors?" And she's like, "No, it's about like people in England." And I was like, "Yeah, no fucking shit." Like,
I mean, when you think about it,
Superman's the
Superman
guy in the
comics
Tutors, though.
are a lot like the Tudors.
Yeah, and so hot. But whatever. I came
Sam,
for...
so the
brought
Tutors-
up an
Yes,
excellent
it is.
point.
The Tutors is about the planet Krypton before it
Yeah.
explodes.
That
It's a really
Aquaman
dope Showtime show. You should
never
watch
talks
it.
to
It's
fish.
just about that. Krypton and everything.
Oh, he never talks to fish.
He never
doesn't
talked to
talk
fish.
to
They
a
joked
single
about it several
motherfucking
times.
fish.
He would have, like, why didn't he summon the giant squids?
He should have summoned
Why
fucking
is
12
he so
sharks
far
and
from
just
the
fucking...
ocean?
He never did
Why
that shit.
is he so far from the ocean?
I always liked the shittier, like, more utility superheroes, you know?
Like Aquaman.
Yeah, like the ones that were, like...
Would you really consider Aquaman a utility superhero?
Yes.
Yeah,
he can
he's-
only do shit in
He
the ocean.
had a
right.
trident.
Yeah.
I mean, in the new one,
And he
he's
had
basically a
colored
god.
contacts.
Like,
Yeah.
in the new
Like,
version of
you
the
know
comics.
what I mean? His power is not that he's just strong and fast and like a good fighter. It's like in certain situations should be
Okay.
better than anything.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Dude, there's a
So,
great
yeah.
comic, or just a series of them, where he brings like giant, massive crustaceans from like the floor of the ocean, and they're like the size of Godzilla. And that's the type of shit he should be doing.
Yeah.
Like, that's Aquaman
Without
shit.
a shirt on.
That's like
Without a shirt on.
Yeah, that's Injustice, right?
Yeah. Well, that and the new 52
Okay.
stuff.
Like push the limits of the ocean thing.
Right.
Yeah. Instead, he's just a shittier Superman.
Or he's like Wonder Woman, where he's just like super strong and fast, but he can't fly.
Right.
And he brought up
That's kind of boring.
Yeah,
It
right.
was
Exactly.
very boring.
The best part for
I
him
thought
in the
we would see
movie
him
was when
do
he showed
stuff.
up and saved them with his trident
Yeah.
from the water. That was actually one of the better action scenes in the movie, and it took place like an hour in.
See, I really like his fight with Steppenwolf in underwater.
I liked that too.
Because
I don't think anyone said
I
it
didn't
yet.
expect the water fight to be
The
that
bad guy is Steppenwolf.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Oh shit, we haven't talked about
good.
the bad guy.
This shittier DJ you've never heard of.
He wears some goat horns.
DJ
He's like,
Steppenwolf.
fuck everything.
No, Steppenwolf
Air
is like a rock
horns,
band.
sirens.
What are some Steppenwolf
He's
songs?
fucked up. The whole time I was like, that's a band, right?
Yeah, they're like an '80s band or.
So
Oh, no.
he looked like a character from a PS2 game, and
He's
he acted
so
like a
lame.
character
Carpet
from a
Ride.
PS2 game.
That's who they are.
Magic Carpet Ride is Steppenwolf. You know?
What?
That's the name of a band?
No,
Nice.
Magic Carpet Ride, that song?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's by Steppenwolf.
Is it what?
Yes.
That's still.
Well, okay. Steppenwolf is actually
Yeah,
from the
we
comics.
are fine.
To be
Won't you
fair,
come with me, little girl, on a magic carpet ride.
It's a very
No, I
offensive and
know.
problematic piece of music.
That's fucking by Steppenwolf.
here's the thing.
You don't know what we can find. Why don't you come with me, little girl, on a magic carpet ride?
In the comic, Steppenwolf is just a human guy. So for some reason in the movie they made him a fucking CGI monster, which I don't think he
Not
needed
just a
to be.
CGI monster.
Technically, he's a
but
new guy.
He's an alien.
Right, but he doesn't
interdimensional.
look like he does in the movie.
No, he
he's
doesn't
he's like
Well, he just shows up out of nowhere.
what's his name?
Yeah.
There's no bad.
Wonder Woman's bad guy.
Yeah, it was
No, it's
Mars.
Ares.
Ares, gotta work.
Sorry, Ares.
Well, whatever. Close
So
enough.
yeah,
It's just a guy with armor.
they're teasing Darkseid. That's gonna be
Right,
ultimate
which is what
culmination of whatever
Steppenwolf-
sequel.
I thought Darkseid was supposed to be movie and this one, and then I was really confused.
Steppenwolf is
a
the
Marvel
precursor
guy.
to
Yeah,
Darkseid.
Y'all know too
He's
much
technically
about
his
this.
uncle.
Steppenwolf is like the Silver Surfer in Marvel, if you're familiar with Galactus.
None of this
If you
makes
made
sense
two bad
to me.
choices in
If
your
you made
lifetime,
two bad choices and you've seen
One
both
being-
Fantastic Four and Justice League in the recent past.
You need to start over.
Nerd.
Burn it down, start from scratch.
The new Fantastic Four movie, by the way, is so bad. It's worse than this movie.
yeah.
What?
We might have to do
Impossible.
that sometime. Because I want to hear Jill and Ford try to describe that fucking movie, too.
So there's an Allspark.
So if this is a burning fire,
Things and
if
stuff.
this is just like a shit fire, like that's like everybody collected all the dung from every African elephant and put it in one spot and
Just
just
packed
like
it
torch that
in.
shit. Like
It's
that's
like-
what that movie is.
It's like the eternal burning tire fire.
Like Green Lantern, like CGI Ryan Reynolds, like can dance happy knowing he never made that shitty of a movie.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh
Dude, I don't
no.
know. Green Lantern is...
Is it
At
on the
least it was
list?
comic accurate. Like it was shitty, but it was so much
What is
CGI and
this?
stuff. He never
It's
gave
just
it
some
a chance.
book. Hal
Joel,
Jordan...
why are you so damn confused by everything?
I
So,
don't know.
actually,
Do you need like a bite of applesauce as your blood sugar level?
Yes. I don't know.
she's like
what's
Barry
happening.
Allen.
Yeah,
If she stops eating...
This is what
just-
happened.
Halfway
Do
through the
you
movie,
understand
Jill
the
just started
concept of
going,
brunch?
"What?"
I don't know what
Every
happened.
single line of dialogue, Jill would
In
just
the
go,
second
"What?"
half of the movie, I'm like, okay, so Batman started out gathering up his friends to fight Steppenwolf to prevent him from making
back on tour.
the amazing piece of music Magic Carpet Ride.
You don't know what we could find. Why don't you come with me, little boy, on a magic carpet ride?
Which he managed to do
Meanwhile,
anyway.
Like, everyone is having these
reunion tour.
conversations that make no sense to me.
They do though.
There's these three
made sense.
cubes,
didn't
and
know who any of the
everybody has
people
got
were
the
either.
cubes, but now Steppenwolf has all the cubes because they suck. So he's got all the cubes. Everything's going to shit.
Look, he's just trying to terraform the planet into a hell world
Is
where
that
he
what
will
it
like to
was?
live.
No, because they fucking like all of the terraformed tendrils turn into beautiful flowers after the whole shit's done.
Yeah.
Like,
I
That
don't
was
even
after...
know.
That didn't
It's
make-
like, kid,
right,
don't touch
so
that.
the world gets destroyed and those tendrils
You know
are still
what?
there
I
and
am
everything
so
stops.
sorry.
It
That
turns
movie
into a
made no
beautiful
sense
plant
to
world.
me,
Like,
and I'm doing what I can.
they're like, oh, he's gonna destroy it, and
Okay.
then like,
Jill was flabbergasted though halfway through this movie. You just
Everyone
lost-
is having
you
these
lost the thread of
like
reality.
sort of legit conversations about shit that made
Jill,
no
it
sense
was like
to me.
it was the or the scene
Like,
where
how did we get there?
Superman has his reunion because he's been dead.
Okay, so
And
he's
you-
alive.
Yeah, but that was just blowing your mind too, and it's like they're just saying generic like
Okay,
I missed you dialogue.
my biggest question
What
in
the
the entire movie: what the hell was that small Ukrainian family doing?
Right, what
in
was
the
that?
film
Yeah.
with
Sam, good question.
outside of the fake.
was that
what's
setting
the-
something up?
No.
They were trying to win that PUBG
No,
match.
All of that was Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
He added an entire Ukrainian family to the movie as like an element
Oh,
to...
so they couldn't
connect
cut
to the
out,
audience
They
or
couldn't cut
whatever.
out enough of that, like that plot line.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm not that dumb.
Destroying
No,
was
that made no
confusing.
sense. The fact that they kept cutting back to them, and then eventually Flash just showed up
And you're
and
gonna
touched
tell
their
me
van
you're gonna tell
or their
me
truck.
these winged fucking
Firefly.
demon bees.
Yeah,
Firefly
the Fireflies.
demons.
You're gonna tell me that they can take on all of these heroes and they can't break into whatever fucking shack those people are living
Right.
in? Like,
Oh, and they're supposed to smell fear, and so those people are apparently not scared enough.
I
for them
picked
to
up on
sniff
that
their
like
way
at
in.
the end. That was the like when they announced it. It's like, oh look, he's fearful now, and like
Oh
they
my
attack him.
God.
And I was like, oh, I get it now. They're attracted to fear. I was like, I feel like that was a dumb. shit
That was
to
the
add.
whole exposition at the beginning where Batman hangs up that.
Yeah, and the guy comes up.
That
like,
was great.
That all makes
At
sense.
the beginning
now.
of this movie, it's like this is gonna be a shit show. When the burglar comes out of he like busts out of the house and he's burgling it. And he's got a big black bag on his shoulder full of loot.
Stuff.
Well, he hasn't been mind hunting,
It says, like,
so he had to
fat
find
loot
something
on the
else
side
to
of
do.
his
What
gun.
is
Like
that
a big
actor's
dollar
name?
sign on it.
Oh, he is so good in Mindhunters though.
So good.
It's
Was fucking
this
Kristoff
movie
from
is a
Frozen?
waste of so many people. J.K. Simmons, Henry Cavill,
Amy Adams.
Ezra Miller, Amy
I
Adams.
don't like Amy Adams.
Dr. Manhattan was in it.
Yeah.
Henry Crudup. He
Yeah.
was Flash's dad.
He was in
was in
Munich.
Oh, that was Flash's
He was
dad.
a fucking
Jill, lean,
killing
call me
things.
tits.
He was in
Munich
Alien
is a
Covenant.
good movie.
Every time you lean in, I see this shit go crazy.
Good.
All y'all are spiking this shit, so don't even.
Don't even.
Don't
Can I
even.
belch? I don't have one right now.
I just need
When
more,
I do.
more booze.
Go get more booze.
Yeah.
So let's go for like another 10 or 15, and then we'll call it
There's
a.
plenty more to talk about.
this.
There is a lot more
there's more to
talk
talk about.
Yeah. It was a giant waste of talent. Like, Ben Affleck has made good movies in the past.
Let's talk about the course correction of this movie.
But that's why he was like, I'm out.
Right.
And then they're like,
Yeah.
here's this much money for you not to leave. And
Well, I think he
Did I
signed
say
a contract.
he's like,
I think he signed
another 4 houses.
a 4-movie deal. He's out after one more.
Yeah.
He has only one more contractual. So
Isn't that how they fit
Yeah.
him into like Suicide Squad? They're like, this counts as one.
yeah,
Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
yeah, this counts
When
as
he
one.
punches that bitch in the face? Is that
Yeah.
the movie?
Yeah, that's where he
Okay.
punched Harley Quinn in the face. So in Batman v Superman, Batman is a giant dickhole, and he gets Superman killed.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
But this
I-
movie...
Everyone seen this? God
I
damn
hated- I
it.
hated it.
No, it's okay.
Attention. Yeah.
I wanted you to see this from a perspective of someone who just has no fucking idea what's going on.
No.
Because to someone
Because
like
you
that...
provide a very real viewpoint
Unique
of-
perspective.
Because
Could you say
see all of this plot that doesn't fit together.
Right.
That we
none
this
of
movie
it? Thank you very much.
should work on its own. It doesn't matter if you don't know who any of these disparate characters are. You should be able to watch this, get everything you need to get from it. It's a team-up movie about some superheroes, and the plot makes sense. But it doesn't. Like, to somebody who doesn't know what's happening,
No.
you would have no fucking idea
Thank
what's
you
happening
very
in this
much.
movie.
It made
When
no
it cut to
sense.
Thin Mascara, to the
Thin Mascara.
Amazons, Thin Mascara,
It's the island.
Joe was very
I
confused.
liked that part though. I was very
Okay,
confused how
let's
he
talk
got
about
there,
that.
Wait,
but
did
it
you
was
call the
dope
island
when-
Thin
Did you
Mascara?
notice?
Is that not
Okay.
what it's called?
This is one thing
Thin
I did
Mascara.
notice from Wonder Woman to this movie. Wonder Woman does a great job of putting all of the women in full battle gear where they're
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
covered. And this
Yes!
one, they're
I
wearing
noticed
the
that
crop
too.
tops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're
At
wearing
the
this-
beginning, they were wearing armor.
No.
In that scene where he showed up, then they didn't
Who
have
was
it.
that?
There's
Steppenwolf?
select
Yeah.
ones that have
It was
and
Magic
it's like-
Carpet?
You're like, all right, I can see
Magic
where the woman
Carpet.
directed the last movie and that doesn't exist, and then the guys are directing this one. You're like, can you have some continuity, man? Just watch the last movie. Just dress them the same way. It's not that hard.
They look so much
That's
cooler
not
with
as
armor
sexy
on.
though.
yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
They're trying to
I
make some
feel
money
like we
too.
can't do that.
I didn't see Wonder Woman.
If I can't see 4 8-packs on the screen at one time, then
Unnecessary.
yeah.
Just body
The
shaming.
Gratuitous
best part
8-pack.
Body
was
shaming
just
me, the viewer.
butt and thigh.
It's
were,
like
like,
show
in an
all the
RPG
jiggle.
when you get the maxed out gear and it's super skimpy, and you're like, why? Why is this super
I have
skimpy?
this problem with Guild Wars. I think I'm not dressed enough, and something went wrong. But no,
Yeah, but then
that's
Patrick
the way
looks
you're
over and
meant
you
to be
accidentally got
dressed.
half your slots unequipped.
Yes.
The only vital organ.
Yeah.
So rude.
If
She's
I learned
gorgeous.
anything from the Punisher,
She's gorgeous.
it's that you can take multiple high caliber rounds to the chest and survive, as long as you're wearing
Over
a
and
thin
over.
bulletproof vest.
Made
so
of magic.
Sometimes it's just a book,
it's just
a really thick book that you have.
It's a book on Winston Churchill. Those
She
are always
was a
thick.
delight.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot.
Winston and his cigars.
I should probably see some more of these movies. I was so confused.
No, you're
You would
good.
like Wonder Woman.
As bad as
I
she
loved
is,
her.
I would watch
I kinda
Wonder
liked
Woman.
I love
I
the World War
liked
One
the
scapes.
hardcore ladies.
It was a cool visual, but good lord, the shit they tried in this movie was just
Okay, no, that sucked. I was looking forward to that part in Wonder Woman. I was like, cool, she'll be on a World War I battlefield and
I thought they depicted
that'll
the
be neat.
battlefield perfectly.
Well, then what they do is she runs out in front of the lines, crouches down, and there's a big vortex of color swirling around her, of course. And all the bad guys, for some reason, start shooting exactly into her shield. And there's the fire from the enemy lines coming in from every direction and converging right on her shield. And then everyone else behind her, all of her friendly dudes, just are going, and nothing ever happens. And it's that was the cool World War I scene.
Well, they
And I was
charge
fuck.
at
Well,
the
yeah.
end.
Then they stand up and run.
Yeah. Well, there was some
But that was it.
mildly cool stuff where she flies into a room in slow motion.
Well, I was
Yeah.
sweet, she'll
That was pretty cool.
actually be turning the tide of battle on the World War I battlefields, and it's no, there's one throwaway shot where she made lots of colors happen, and then
saved a town full of people that all died.
yeah,
That's a problem with all of the DC movies, is that the last act of the movie is always just a bunch of smoke and lightning and CGI.
Oh, in the
you
fighting,
can't tell what's happening.
the Transformers fighting where the screen's just flying around so fast and everyone's flying off camera and you can't. Yeah.
The beginning reminded me of that. When Batman was fighting the Parademon, I could not tell what was happening.
No.
When he was punching it was just blur and two shapes.
Didn't it look like it looked
You
like he
mean
was,
the
coming
Firefly
off-
Man?
Yeah, it just looked like a vague
He
outline.
literally has a bad guy that's exactly that person. Firefly.
Yeah.
Okay, well, like, what about early in the movie when it was that guy from Star Wars and they were those giant robots and they were like fighting shit?
What?
Are you talking about the trailer?
Yeah, that
Star
part.
Wars?
Yeah. No, not Star Wars. It was the guy from Star Wars, but they were,
Pacific Rim 2.
Pacific Rim 2,
Oh.
fighting robots.
Oh.
Robots, yeah.
Robots.
Mhm.
Yeah, giant,
Like,
giant
Matrix
fighting
shot
robots.
robots.
That trailer was better than this.
It
entire
was
I will say
dope.
that raised my pulse mildly. Justice League never got.
I was into it.
Wait,
anything
so
out of
much
me.
like Wing Commander, where people were going to see Wing Commander, staying for the trailer for Star Wars Episode 1 and then leaving, that might be the thing to do. Buy the ticket, go see the trailer for the new Star Wars and
Pacific Rim.
And
And
Pacific
Pacific
Rim, and then just leave.
Rim.
Make sure you see it in IMAX though.
Why would
Okay,
you
so
pay
we did
$20
see
for a
it.
trailer?
Go tell
Wait,
them.
though.
Go tell them that you've got nausea.
It's a trailer
You have to
in
leave.
IMAX. I enjoyed that part of it. It was like huge and in my face.
This is some trivia though that we found out doing last week's episode, where we found out that lots of people went to Wing Commander to
Yes.
see the trailer for
Star Wars.
Phantom Menace.
Phantom
But this
Menace.
is like before the shit went on like YouTube. And I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
There was no other way to see
I mean,
it.
that was essentially the Dark Ages. So,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
But seriously, I've paid less to go to a Mavs game. That concerns me.
Oh, that's upsetting.
You should be concerned.
If
We should
I were
all be
you,
writing.
I would be
why-
very upset about
Why,
this.
why
We
does it
should be
cost
writing-
$21 with tax to go see a fucking
So
movie?
you can see it Gigantor.
Because we
But
went
it-
to
Because
fucking
when you
the
see
most expensive
Aquaman,
movie theater like
you want to
possible.
see him
Wow.
huge. You want to see him big and tall and glistening.
We spent way too
And
much money on this.
Colored contacts and like blonde highlights.
You're right
and
though. An
swimming in
IMAX
the
movie in most
ocean.
places is like $13 or $14.
It really was.
I will say
outrageous.
this.
I want to hear more about Khal Drogo.
Okay, so first of all, they misled me into thinking there would be more Aquaman. I was like, okay, here he's gonna come and, fucking Batman's like, I'm looking for the man who saves fish in the ocean. And Aquaman's like, I don't give a shit. I'm not doing this with you.
I heard his name was Arthur.
Arthur, because that's Aquaman's name.
Why was it Arthur? And Arthur loves
Arthur
whiskey.
Curry, who loves
He has a
whiskey
real name.
and swimming in the ocean
That's-
and hella tattoos.
That's the comic book stuff.
Yeah.
It was so dumb. But Batman comes to recruit him, and you're like, oh, yeah, here we
name's
go.
our kid
So he
Aquaman,
walks
though.
out into the water. He's taking off
He's
his
gonna have a
shirt.
real name.
He's all
Atlanta's
tattooed
people,
and gorgeous and glistening. And then he's like, I'm not fucking helping you, and swims off, but then helps him anyway. Like, what the fuck?
His place got attacked.
His
It
place got
was
attacked.
so disappointing.
Everyone's motivation was that their home got pillaged.
Except for
Yeah.
Cyborg.
Disappointing.
Whose body got
He was like,
pillaged.
he was like, I just want friends.
Yeah,
He's like,
what
I'm
the
from Teen
fuck?
Titans. I
So
think.
No, that was
first of
Flash.
all,
Yeah,
I was
that was
hella
Flash.
confused because I'm like,
Wonder
is
Woman
this
came up to
like
him too and was
X-Men?
like, after a while, you're gonna need friends.
Is he X-Men Cyclops? He was not.
He spent too much time on Reddit.
He's this guy with robot parts and a robot eye, and I've never heard of him in my whole life. He looks
Cyborg
like
is part of the newer Justice
not
League.
like the black guy from Star Wars, just
No.
slightly like the black guy from Star
He
Wars.
is a late addition
That's
to Justice
the
League.
new Vogue right
What
now.
the fuck?
Yeah.
He replaced
It made
some of the
no
more
sense.
racist elements of Justice League,
What?
such as the Wonder Twins and or the Indian man who grew
Who
large.
grew sizes.
Oh yeah.
I
Do
hear
you
you.
remember that man?
That was really well,
Okay.
that's the Justice
Okay.
Friends.
What's his name even?
Okay.
Apache Chief.
Wonder Woman, she's in trouble. Cook! Calling out the Apache word for big man, Apache Chief instantly becomes a 50-foot giant.
Apache
It is
Chief,
not
yeah.
Apache
It
Chief.
is.
Oh, what the fuck?
You know what?
This is fucked
If my
up.
wife Autumn was
You're
here,
all
I gotta
awful
edit this
right
she
out.
would
now.
be very upset that there was
Edit
not
it
an Apache
all.
Chief in this movie.
Yeah.
She feels strongly about
Okay,
Okay,
it.
so
Apache
can we
Chief.
talk about how
No,
they
he
showed
replaced,
Green
He
Lantern
replaced
for 3
Did they
seconds?
show Green
replaced
Lantern
Martian
for
Manhunter.
3 seconds?
They replaced Martian Manhunter with Cyborg.
Yeah.
Sam's right.
Wait.
Martian Manhunter's a little bit too much like
Who's
Superman.
Martian Manhunter?
No, I think he's one
These
of the coolest
nerds know
characters.
too much.
He's
about
way more
this.
interesting.
Yeah.
Who are the original Justice League?
It
Martian
is
Manhunter.
Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter,
What
Flash.
the fuck is Martian
Is
Manhunter?
Martian
Batman.
Manhunter
He's
on
the
Supergirl?
green dude, and he turns
Yes.
invisible.
Martian
and he
Manhunter
can
is
get
the-
inside
He's
people,
John Jones?
and
Yes,
he's
John
telepathic.
John Jones is
He was in
dope
TV
on
like the
Supergirl.
TV
A
show, like,
redeeming
2000.
quality
Hey.
of Supergirl.
One person at a time.
Justice Friends is better than
We're
Justice
fucking
League.
up the level, Sam.
Justice Friends is the ones with the Wonder Twins, right?
Fuck those twins.
Where one turns into a bucket and
That's
the other turns
bullshit.
into a mop.
Wonder Twin powers, activate! Shape out
Bullshit.
A bucket of water.
Wonder Twin powers, activate!
Bullshit.
Form of steam.
See, that's what this movie needed, was some
Shut up.
stupid shit like that. Like, it was dumb, but it wasn't as dumb as the old cartoon. They didn't swing for the fences enough.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
They did with
Some of
those
the
color
writing swung to
contacts
the
on
They
Aquaman.
thought they were. Oh, those were good. I fell for them.
I just can't see a studio full of people being like, let's show this to everyone and tell them it's worth
We're all gonna sign off on this. Like 50 people in a room are gonna be like, yes, sir.
Somebody somewhere had to be like, this is a
Signature.
dumpster fire we're about to make a lot of money on.
You know what,
They
Sam?
were thrown out of a window.
I believe someone tried and they were fired.
No,
someone
I think
tried.
they're in full on panic mode about this shit, dude.
They have
This
to
is
be.
like
It's
That's
gone
why
poorly.
this is worse
reshot
than
2 movies.
when George Lucas saw Star Wars Episode 1
Oh
and he was
no.
like,
Misa
"It's stylistically designed to be
Misa,
that way."
sorry.
It's stylistically designed to be that way, and you can't undo that, but we can diminish the effects of it.
Sorry.
Jar Jar's a funnier character than we've ever had before. If we can get him working.
Jar Jar.
He's gonna steal the show.
So I was reading something. Well, my wife told me this on E News, where so Ben Affleck is, I guess, was in the middle of like a bad divorce during this, and so he was just like not in shape for this movie, and so
Oh, dear.
a lot of times he was wearing a bat corset, and people had to force a bat
Okay,
corset
now
on
that
him.
you mention that, he was wearing a vest in a lot of the scenes, and it
Yeah.
like squeezed him in a lot, and I was like, that's a weird.
You know
like,
what? It's not that weird.
No, you can see him in that scene where like Gal Gadot puts the shoulder in. He's literally,
That was the
like
one.
walking over.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And he's wearing that
He's wearing
vest.
abs and pec.
He's
shirt.
wearing like a
So,
suit vest.
Yeah.
My
but no
gentleman
jacket.
co-hosts on this podcast do not understand Spanx or the importance of them. You gotta tighten shit up sometimes, and that's where Ben Affleck was.
So
No judgment.
Well, but
I've
it's
been
funny
there.
that you mentioned
No
that, and I
judgment.
didn't think of that until you mentioned it. That I was
Just
looking at that
tighten it
going like,
up.
he looks weird. He looks like he
Tighten it
can't
up.
breathe. Like
he was
looks like he's
shirtless
standing like
in
this.
BVS.
And corsets.
So he was not in
Tighten it
good
up.
shape in this movie.
no, because they showed 2 other shirtless guys.
Yep.
They didn't show him shirtless.
Yeah.
Henry
they
Cavill
did.
looked good, as did Jason Momoa.
As did
Aquaman.
Okay, so another
Aquaman.
point about Batman, and you know, from the old Batmans, Christian Bale just had a voice full of gravels.
Yeah.
Just whatever.
right.
But
Christian
Ben,
Bale's a
Ben
good
Affleck
actor.
had a device that he could turn on and off to modulate
I
his voice.
kind of like that,
I like
honestly.
that. I like
I don't
that.
know.
Did anyone else notice that? Where like
Yeah. I
he,
think
he
it's-
modulates his voice when he's in the bat costume, whereas Christian Bale just talked like this.
Yeah.
That's more believable to me. Like,
Yeah.
it's more believable that he talks through a voice.
It makes him
modulator.
seem like more like a serial killer, but I think
Yes.
it's better than being like,
See, I kind of like that though.
Fuck people.
Like Batman is supposed to be like
kind of silly.
yeah, a little bit of an insane person. You
He
know?
is.
So,
But dude, using a voice box to disguise your voice is equally insane.
Stop.
well, but it
Don't
like
do that.
That's the
it
smartest
makes
thing.
sense from like a he needs to do it and it's scary. Like he needs to disguise his voice so that his cover doesn't get blown and it's scarier.
I like the electronic sound of it. I like how it sounds like otherworldly almost.
That's because
There's
you
another
have
one in there.
problems.
There's another.
Oh,
I love you though. It's okay.
I think we can get a solid hour out of this.
Oh,
Maybe
we're
more.
good.
Easily.
We're at 48 fucking minutes.
We're good. We're still going.
You know
I'm
what?
getting more
I
bourbon.
really
If you're
tried
still
to
listening, please sponsor
understand
us.
the second half of this movie. I tried.
If you're still
And I
listening.
haven't seen
You
any
did not
of them.
try. I had to lean over and tell you to fucking try.
I was trying. There's like fucking Steppenwolf is like I am raising hell, and fucking Ben Affleck is like
He's
I'm
running around.
avoiding sexual abuse allegations. I am fucking Batman. I'm like a little plump right now on account of my divorce, so ignore my corset.
My brother might have done some shit, but we're not
My
going to talk
brother
about that.
definitely did some shit. Definitely. But, like, I'm trying to follow how we deal with Steppenwolf, and it's just not... I don't know. Like, shit was just happening out of nowhere. I don't think I was out of control. I really think the storytelling in this was poor. Like,
The script was
poor.
garbage.
Poor.
Too many
Rhymes
hands in one
with
pot.
sewer.
It's just like Suicide Squad, where it felt like 3 movies that had been edited
Why haven't we
together.
done Suicide Squad?
Because Suicide Squad was so bad that it defies comprehension.
I'll rewatch it for this.
I
Oh, dear.
almost
Oh shit.
rewatched it for research. I rewatched Batman v Superman, and then I just didn't go back.
You
to
know what I
Suicide
will
Squad.
say is people have applauded Ms. Gal Gadot for her like jiggly bits, 800 feet tall in a movie theater, but I don't mind that. Like, bitch, you've had a baby, I've had a baby, I want to see the jiggly bits. I want to feel confident because you were like showing off your jiggly bits.
She's also a combat instructor.
And she did. She's
She served in the
gorgeous,
Israeli
and she's
army.
like, fucking,
They all
I
have
had
to.
a baby, check me out, and it's dope.
I'm sorry, the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force. I want to get that right.
She's juicy.
You mean the Jew army?
Jiggling.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Nope, you're
And
fired.
cut.
No, it's
Check
like,
it
it's
out.
like the Kiss army.
Oh, God. Is
Yes.
it like the Kiss Army?
Is it?
Is it? She's a delight. But this was very confusing. If you've never seen this shit before, it's like Batman goes to look for fucking 4 more sociopaths.
That's
Like,
fine.
he just goes to look for assholes to help him fight
Let's
Steppenwolf.
find two
And it's
supermodels.
not great. It's not
A person who
great.
solves every technological problem in the movie,
He's doing what
and
he
a
can.
person who can run really fast.
Yeah.
Did you notice her blinking in Morse code? Israel has no nukes.
Oh my god. Stop it. You know what? Okay, so I watched The Flash, like this show. And I like that actor and whatever school shooter. But like, really? It's a totally different tone. And this kid's like a fucking outcast piece of shit who's just like, I love my dad. My dad's in prison for killing my mom, but he didn't because there's like another Flash in some bullshit parallel universes. It's the whole thing. The Flash is complex. If you want to get into it, we can talk. But like, if you don't, I understand. It's like just so very different from the tone of the show and how that's presented. Like, he's just like asshole outcast. Nobody likes him. And it's like, no, that's not the Flash I know.
No,
has
in the
friends.
show, Barry Allen is like the glue that holds
He
literally
is.
an entire city
He's
together.
got a graduate degree, bitches. Like, he has his shit together.
Everyone in his life falls to pieces when he's absent.
I wonder if they know what brunch is.
They know what brunch is, okay?
First of all, Batman doesn't wake up in time for brunch.
No.
So he doesn't know what brunch is either.
He doesn't need brunch. He's fucking Bruce Wayne.
Did you
Wonder
notice?
Woman is from a society that never celebrated brunch.
That's
Exactly.
bullshit, though.
But she would have learned what it was.
Atlantis, food gets soggy. They can't have
Ew.
brunch.
Bruce
No
Wayne-
Bloody Mary bar? Fuck that.
Bruce Wayne knows what brunch is. It's when Alfred brings him Eggs Benedict and gives him hand relief.
Alfred mentions in the movie just how little Bruce Wayne is getting laid.
That's
a
the
line.
first time
Which
I've
is-
seen that
which is
Alfred,
untrue.
though.
I'd like to think Batman gets laid purely to spread the story of Bruce Wayne being a playboy.
Okay,
They
but
show a naked lady in Batman v Superman.
for not
do?
being
his
Michael
bed.
Caine, I like
Just-
the Alfred.
just
That's
briefly.
a plus.
I do like the Alfred.
If you like a good Alfred.
That's
See this
him
movie.
and Batman are the best part of Batman v Superman.
So Jeremy Irons, wasn't he also Scar?
Wait, he was
in,
Scar.
He was in a future movie that we'll be doing on the podcast called Dungeons and Dragons.
Please no.
I refuse to participate in that.
One of the best movies ever made,
Count me out.
featuring both dungeons and dragons.
We're not getting paid.
You know I love both those things. That's not
Can't
right.
make me.
You know we do this for free.
That's
For
why I'm
no
forcing it.
money.
Will they be in the same shot?
For free time.
Unless White
No.
Castle hears us.
I love White Castle burgers. I said I wouldn't bring this up again, but legit.
What? Who are our
They're
sponsors?
dope when you're drunk.
White Castle.
This month,
Redbox.
Chill, they're not paying us.
No wait.
They're so
Blockbuster
good,
Video.
though.
this month,
We're sponsored
our-
by Blockbuster Video.
This was like the Vegas
Blockbuster
dope
Video.
shit
Yeah.
was going
And
to
Ron.
White Castle. Fresh White Castle in Las Vegas.
We're sponsored by Arthur Anderson Accounting.
Is
Blockbuster
real?
Video.
And Enron.
one of our new sponsors
Oh, no.
this
Xerox.
month is RedTube.
Xerox Park.
What
Red
about,
Tube.
WorldCom?
I am all about
WorldCom.
pornography.
I think that they,
And
they could do
WorldCom.
some good work for us.
WorldCom plus pornography.
Two things
Okay.
Julian about.
Two things. First of all, let's go around and do recommendations. Would anyone recommend that anyone see this fucking dumpster fire?
If you were gonna see this for the, like, genital soaking Aquaman, save your fucking money. Turn on some Stargate Atlantis and, like, take him in, because it does not happen in this movie.
I would say if you've seen the other movies that are supposed to build to this shit, I mean, that would imply that you're like a
If
superhero
that's even
fan or
real.
just you hate yourself. In which case, like, go ahead and see it through to the end, probably, and see this piece of shit. I mean, you'll regret it. You'll regret it. Just go in with low expectations, and everything will be fine.
Eat popcorn and have liquor.
Yeah.
I would have rather have gone to see the Mavs lose tonight, so, no.
Damn.
Was that, like, on the table, though?
Damn, son.
We got told.
Did the Mavs even play tonight?
They might have.
They might have.
We got
Sam?
told.
What's up?
Would you
Recommendation?
recommend this movie?
No. I'd recommend you wait until it's on a streamable website
Oh, yeah.
and then
do
not
that.
watch it. I like download it as many times as possible and just like fucking put that shit in the trash can and into your trash because they just need the money stolen from them. They
That's
need
it.
to know that this was a shitty movie and that
That's
they ruined
it.
a childhood
Yeah, don't spend money on
right
this.
here.
Yeah, take that $20 and go do something else.
Donate it.
Here's what I thought.
Shove it in
I
your
thought
ass.
I would need, like, adult diapers for the amount
You
of,
can
like,
literally burn
delicious
that $20
genital
bill and
fluids
get more enjoyment than
from
watching this
fucking Aquaman.
Donate it
And
to
it didn't happen.
Donate it to your Republican charity of choice.
Or do that. Fuck it. Who cares?
All right,
I
to end
don't
it,
approve that message.
Are you going to end it?
we have a comment from YouTube
Oh, God.
from the movie trailer
No.
from a guy named Peter Baelish.
I love him already. Go ahead.
This movie was fucking amazing. The critics are sourpusses, and it's a given that they won't stop harassing DC Comics films unless it stars a beautiful Israeli woman.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow. Not telegraphing anything there.
That person
Yeah.
has issues far,
Yikes.
far more seasoned.
A decent percentage of the time when I talk about Israel, I'm joking, but doesn't
Oh,
sound like
God.
that guy is.
No one listen to anything this fool says.
Cutting
if Morris
everything after
says
the
it,
butt.
ignore it.
but,
and just cuts off.
Just cut.
yeah, I'll leave you there.
4-minute racist comment.
How much time
Check
have we
back
got?
later.
We're almost at an hour,
Oh, shit.
so we did
Cut
it.
us off. It's over. Cut us off.
Yeah.
What
Y'all
do we
are
do,
too
57
home.
minutes?
Let's go drunk.
Wait,
Let's go.
wait, we have to go out singing Magic
Yeah,
Carpet
this
Ride. Steven
I like to dream. Yeah.
Will we get sued if we
I don't
play
remember how it
that?
starts.
Obviously, we are dealing with a most inventive...